Right.
Dirty, dusty, and nasty. You know what I mean?
Dirty, dusty, and nasty.
Dirty, dusty, and nasty. It's really what it's all
Are
about.
those synonyms?
Huh?
Are those synonyms? Could they be? Possibly.
Dirty and
Dusty.
No,
Dirty and
no,
dusty?
No.
Kind of?
No.
No, okay.
Because dirty can be like
You're
muddy.
right. It would be like
Dusty
dusty
is like,
and like
cleaned in a while.
dusty and like dirt or something. No,
Dirt.
not even. No, I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm not an English major. My bad.
I'm not either.
My bad.
Welcome back to the throne room. We're back in the 210. You know what I mean? Back with my boy, my brother.
Good morning.
Actually,
it is morning.
It's
yes,
almost 12:59. This is couples therapy. Welcome. We just got back from a good little getaway. You know what I mean?
Trip. Yeah, the getaways. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? I got probably some of the darkest coffee I've ever had in my life. Maybe let's try this out, huh?
That looks.
I'm gonna give it really. You can really hear it. You know what I mean? Yo.
Is that you think that's crazy? Yo, if you think that's
wild.
crazy, I'm about to like pass out.
That is wild. That's wild, bro.
Oh man, I'm scared.
That's good. That's insane.
That'll knock you.
That's insane, bro. Okay.
That's some black coffee.
That is some black coffee. But
that's the difference. Is like that. It's just like you get that bitterness that coffee naturally has. Mm-hmm. But if you've had Starbucks black coffee, it's like sour almost.
Yeah.
That's just like
it's
chicory.
Just
strong. Like
it's
you
just
know
chicory
it's like,
coffee.
You know that's coffee. You know what I'm saying?
You've been to New Orleans, right?
No.
Okay. Let's go this summer to New Orleans for like a weekend. Shout out to Cafe Du Monde.
Okay.
Okay, they have like.
Isn't that the place that has the really good like beignet things?
Beignets, yeah, beignets. They're world famous beignets, and they have chicory coffee, and it's like they put it in a little cup. It's like espresso, but it's like French espresso, and it's really strong coffee, and you can add your whatever in it. But, so how have you been? By the way, this is the setup for the show. I'm not gonna talk about the details of the show in the beginning. We're gonna do that later. Okay.
Right.
So we're gonna ask each other different questions. They don't have to be super serious. They don't have to be super ridiculous. It's going to be a mixture of both. It's going to be a fruit salad. What's going on?
The cat's freaking out. I don't know. Sorry, we have animals here. And
that's why cats are so dumb.
Yeah, cats are stupid.
Cats are retarded.
He's trying to catch a bug on the window or something. I don't know.
It probably doesn't even exist. Okay, we're going to ask each other dumb questions.
Dumb questions.
Or deep questions, whichever one you want.
Or deep.
Do you have yours ready?
I mean, I have some that I could probably ask.
Okay.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anything you want to say before we start, or do you want to get something off your chest?
No.
I know you're hiding something.
I'm just ready to jump in.
I know you're. Oh wow.
Huh?
Wow.
What?
You ready to jump in? That was bad. That was bad.
That was bad.
That was gross.
Dive, slide in. Slide in's better. I'm ready to slide into the DMs.
Just got the nearest youth pastor over here. Ready to dive into today's message. I'm playing.
Look, man, I go to ACU, and never mind, I'm not going to finish that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Shout out to the youth pastors. They're great
shout
guys.
Out. Good guys.
Shout out Pastor Chris.
Awful word choice.
What?
Well, it's often very cliche. Cliche word choice, sorry. Not awful.
Okay, do you want to go first? You want to go first? You want to dive into this?
How about you go first?
Okay, when's the last time that you pooped?
A few minutes ago.
That's right.
Just before the podcast.
Okay. Was it good? Rate it.
It's kind of gross.
No,
it was a gross poop. It
Okay.
was like a 1.
All right.
Maybe.
Okay. More serious question.
Okay.
When's the last time you cried?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I was like watching a movie or something. I don't think it was over anything like very legitimate.
Okay. When's the last time you cried that wasn't because of like, something that wasn't real? Like either like something that was happening in your life.
Probably sometime over the Christmas break.
Really?
I cry.
Yeah.
Fairly often.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just like I don't really think about.
Or was
when
it
I
2
cried.
weeks ago at church?
Oh no, it's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It was 2 weeks ago at church.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I had forgot. See, that's what I'm saying. I cry enough that I just kind of forget the occasions. They're not milestones necessarily.
You don't write them down in the calendar.
I'm not just like today I cried at
Yeah.
2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Like that's just not kind of how it works.
Dear diary. The last time I cried was, well, it would have been the last time I saw. Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Sorry.
It would have been the night I came up to the lake. What day was that? Friday.
Friday. Okay.
I cried Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to know why? You want to know why?
Why?
You're gonna make fun of me for this.
Did you like see a butterfly flying across this road or something?
No. Honestly, if I were to say that, that would probably be like
better.
No. For me, no. But for you, it would give you less things to make fun of me for.
Okay. What was
I
it?
cried because I left Alex.
Oh my gosh. Oh my lord.
See?
Oh man.
See? Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I'm sorry.
See what I mean? You make fun of me for that more than if I cried because I saw a butterfly.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
That's
because I could be like, oh,
that's
I just was thinking about the intricacies of God's creation, and I just was led to tears.
Okay,
and then you'd be like,
okay,
all right,
fair
all
enough.
right.
And then you've got, I cried because I left my girlfriend that I
left
see
my
every single day of my life.
That I was for sure going to see in the next 14 hours. Yeah.
Within
14 hours, I was assured to see her again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't even bad. Like, it was bad, like, when I left her, but then it got even worse, like, driving out of, her neighborhood.
So it just got progressive. It didn't, it wasn't like you're pulling away and you're crying.
I was like, it's just like... Yeah, it was exactly
that was
like that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay, go. Your turn.
Okay. Mine are not going to be nearly as serious.
That's okay.
Okay. When, I don't know, I just thought of this one.
Hit me.
When
Hard.
making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Do you put peanut butter down on, like, both sides, right? Okay,
Whoa.
Hear me out. Put peanut butter down on both sides and then put some, like, jelly, right? Or do you put peanut butter down on one side and then you put jelly, like, on the other side and then kind of fold it together? Or, there are several options here. Or, do you put the jelly down first and then you put the peanut butter down?
Okay.
Several options.
No. I'm very simple.
Do
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm doing like as most Americans would.
Okay.
You put one slice of bread has peanut butter, one slice of bread has jelly.
Yes.
And the proportionality of it has to be like 52-48 jelly.
The favor of jelly.
You know, just barely.
Okay.
Like by 2 percentiles bigger.
Right.
Now, I'm so glad you asked this question.
Okay.
Because there was some like thing on social media that I saw, and they were having a debate on, it was some Twitter thread about like how you should do this.
Right. I've never seen that.
This girl was talking about how you have to build a peanut butter wall.
I've seen that
around
too. That method is interesting.
The thing.
Right.
So that you could fill up the jelly and make it like a pool.
Right.
So that when you bite into it, the jelly doesn't like come out of the sides.
I feel like it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but your first bite is just like you're just eating
jelly.
Peanut butter. Your first bite's peanut butter.
Right.
Because you have a moat.
But if you bite far enough in, you're going to get a good mixture. But then if you're in the middle of the sandwich, all you're having is jelly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's one issue they have with it.
That's the problem.
So and also that's for a house mom who has nothing better to do, and so she's just sitting. Well, that's not what I meant. That's for someone who has nothing better to do. That was very poorly worded.
It's a freaking house mom.
I'm saying that's somebody who doesn't have a job.
Somebody that doesn't have a job. It's just a house mom.
Man or woman, whoever it may be. House dad. I don't care.
Or attack helicopter.
Attack helicopter, whatever it may be. But they just sit there and like put it into like one of those like frosting tube things.
Oh
yeah. And then they just sit there and like squirt it.
They're doing like the designs.
That's like on Tasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. They just do stuff like that. And it's why? So, I normally do the method of peanut butter on both sides. And then I put some jelly.
God, I hate
But it's not a lot. It's, like, very light. So, it's like, but you get enough So it's like
okay. So in total,
I make up for it.
In total, what's your peanut butter to jelly ratio?
I mean, I would say it's probably around the same as to what you're saying.
Okay.
But I just
Then I
spread
respect
the
it.
peanut butter thinner.
So then why not just do it my way?
I don't know. I feel like both sides gives you a little bit more like there's peanut butter. I don't know. I don't know why my method of thinking is the way that it is. I feel like it. Like if you put it on one side and you put all of that peanut butter on that side, then it's kind of like
do you go
slice.
Do you go crunchy? Do you go crunchy peanut butter over?
No, creamy every day of the week.
Peanut butter.
Crunchy feels like they got really lazy with it.
They just
and
stopped.
They said, oh, "Man, I just don't want to do this anymore," and they threw it out on the shelf instead of saw if anybody,
I'm definitely a creamy
bite.
person, but I'm not gonna say no. To
Right.
crunchy peanut butter.
I guess I just really haven't tried crunchy a ton.
Yeah.
Either.
I hear ya.
It's just you know how it is.
Yeah.
Jif, are you a Jif guy?
Yeah.
Because there's
I'm always a
Peter
Jif guy
Pan
because
stuff.
Peter Pan had the recall when we were
Really?
kids.
Really?
They had
I
a
don't
recall and it
remember
was
that.
killing people.
I've only ever had Jif, so
Yeah.
really.
I'm a Jif guy.
I mean,
100%.
a couple off brands every once in a while, but typically it's Jif.
When I was bulking, I was using because I was using an HEB brand because Jif didn't have like the bigger size and I don't know what's the HEB brand. Just
Probably
HEB.
just
It's
HEB.
I think it's just
HEB,
brand.
yeah.
So the HEB brand peanut butter was like a thing this big.
Right.
It was like a half-gallon thing of peanut butter, and I would go through it in like a month.
How much is that?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, dude, and it has a lot of fats, and so I was a good probably almost like 187 to 190.
It's a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Will sometimes just eat like a scoop, especially when I'm trying to lose weight.
Well, I was
which I'm actively trying to do at just about any time, but
we're hitting the gym tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
and I don't care what you say.
But anyways, I'll take like a scoop of peanut butter because it's just something that's kind of like it's a nice taste.
Exactly.
To have,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Which is kind of weird at the same time because peanut butter is this very odd consistency.
Okay, this is sort of a weirder question. Remember, this is couples therapy.
Therapy.
Remember,
right. We have to figure this out.
Yeah, we gotta get down to the bottom of our issues here.
Right.
We've been friends for quite some time.
Yes.
We've been very good friends for quite some time.
Yes.
We haven't just been acquaintances. We've been,
very good friends.
Just
Inner circle.
Yeah. But within the inner circle, we've been
The
very
inner
good
circle
friends.
of
Yeah.
the inner circle.
Yeah, we're kind of like
The nucleus.
we're the freaking mitochondria.
The
my bro.
nucleolus.
Yeah, my bro. I said my guy and my bro, so it sounded like my bri. You know what I mean?
That's the thing that just happened.
Yes.
The mitochondria is
we're the powerhouse, baby.
the power.
We're the powerhouse.
That's funny. We have our own DNA.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that was very nerdy.
Okay.
Continue. Please move on.
You give me so much crap. And I won't even I know that it's annoying and I know people don't care, when I start nerding out.
Right.
People don't want to hear me talk about that. So I've learned to just not. But when I do, you give me so much crap.
This whole weekend I have not given you that much crap.
Because I haven't said anything. What have I said?
Yes, you have.
What have I said?
You've talked about the different. You were talking about it last night, and I was trying. You were
I
sharing.
said that
You were sharing
0.9 repeating
random,
was equal to 1, and I proved it 3 different ways.
But I was trying to think of different things that I could say, and I didn't have anything at the time. I was too tired. You shared these facts. You shared these facts at 2:30 in the morning last night.
Listen, this isn't something I learned in school, though. It's just right.
Anyway, so you were gonna.
My nose does that weird thing. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so we've been friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
We've kind of watched each other grow up in a sense.
Right.
We've seen each other go through many things.
Right.
And you've always had my back.
Right.
And I've always had your back.
Right.
Right. I would have loved clipping
I know
these
you're
together.
gonna.
I'm gonna have a dance.
There's gonna be another one because that's the only word I know how to say, guys.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
But by the way, your mom was using the bathroom. And
Yeah.
You came out and she was talking about how the toilet wasn't working.
Yeah.
And she didn't even finish her first statement, and you said right. She was like, the toilet's not working. You were like, right.
I just want people to know that I'm actively listening.
Ezra on your phone.
I was listening. I knew exactly what you said.
I know. I got you. I hear you.
And I've noticed that thing is a bad toilet for a very long time. Anyways,
we're gonna get to it.
The question.
Yeah. What is your number one? It's kind of a two-part question. We're gonna do the first one.
Okay.
First, obviously. What's your fondest memory of us together?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think playing football was really fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think one of my favorite memories of while playing football was the scout team when you were on defense. I was having to run offense, and you and freaking. Can I say his name?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Cameron. So you and Cameron are sitting over there.
Shout out to Camo. Go listen to him on Spotify.
Yeah, please go hit him up.
He's good.
And you're talking about you're doing your whole mess, and I just remember we're getting just ripped in half.
Dude.
We're getting screamed at because because the whole other half of the offensive line cannot figure out the snap count, which I can't blame them because it had been switched 3 times by the end of that week. But I just remember dying. I want to laugh so bad.
Oh yeah.
But I'm so tired, and I just remember me and Parker looking at each other and being like, Who is this guy? What is he doing? And because we're both trying to figure out the plays and things, and oh my goodness.
So what was said? Here's what actually happened. So, for some reason, and remember this is defense. So
you were on defense.
You played both ways.
Yeah,
and
but at this point it was offensive. It was offense.
Offensive specialty.
So
right.
you were on the defensive scout team.
And I was just playing defensive scout team because I didn't want to stand around and look like do nothing just because I don't play an offensive position.
Right.
Like some people on the team.
Like the wide receivers often did.
Like the quarterback.
Dude, oh my goodness! I brought that point up to one of the coaches when I helped with a camp after our senior year.
Yeah.
And I brought that up and I said, you have to understand, the offensive line never came off the field, during practice. And so then when you had us running after practice, that's why, it was so much worse for us. You look at the wide receivers and they're because a lot of them didn't play both ways.
Well, that's exactly right. So that's exactly why I was I needed to always be moving around. Because then I'm getting nonstop reps. I'm playing when I'm on defensive specialty, I'm getting those reps, and then I'm playing the exact same.
Then you get to the game and you're like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I barely got winded. But anyway, so we're doing scout team, and they can't get the snap count right. So I'm playing Mike, obviously, and Cameron, who's playing safety at the time, and I don't know if this is before or after his injury or in between because he had 2.
Right.
I don't remember, but I think he was just back. This was his first week back. So he's having a time.
Yeah.
We're hyping each other up, and we're just having a time with this because we love when the offense messes up and we're on scout team because we got freaking freshmen on the D-line.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm the only defensive starter out there.
If I had to deal with another scout team hero, I was going to lose my mind. Oh, my goodness.
I was the only defensive starter in scout team generally, unless you were there.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm out here we're eating these kids. We're eating these kids like fetuses. We're taking out the umbilical cord and eating it like noodles, like spaghetti. And then Camo comes out of nowhere, and he goes, with some black coffee.
And we were like...
So we're just dying.
Why?
We are dying.
Oh my
I have never been more hysterically laughing playing football, not just in between plays, but playing football, getting off blocks and just dying laughing. It was amazing.
So bad.
There was endorphins, there was adrenaline, there was just it was crazy. It was crazy.
Highly unfortunate for me.
Oh,
and the offensive line, as we were just staring at each other please get us through this practice.
The one of the good ones is, and there's some great pictures of this, but that's not what it's about. But after Toulouse Midway, after the last game of our senior year, we were the last ones on the field, and they cut the lights off.
We were just crying.
Oh,
it was so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
God, we went through an entire season playing behind. I was playing behind you, and just dude, everything, and we got screwed out of that game.
We got screwed out of
that
several
game.
games,
but we got screwed out of that game because that team was not good.
No.
We beat them 52-0, whatever the score was, junior year.
Yeah.
And then senior year, it's
we beat them.
Oh, my God.
Really, honestly. We beat them, but then there were just some really awful calls that swung at their direction, and
it was bad. And then it came out that those refs were the ones that...
they're friggin' middle school coaches.
Exactly. Yeah. They were the middle school coaches.
It was so bad.
So that was drank, and so it was just... It was a hard time, so that's a good memory. Okay, what's your least favorite memory?
Man, I don't know. That's a harder one. I don't know. Do you have one? I'm trying to think of...
I was trying to think of one, too.
I don't know. Probably just something... Oh, man. Never mind.
I know what you're gonna say.
Stupid that had happened or something like that.
But yeah.
Not.
See, that's the thing.
Not anything that like. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have anything where I'm like, man, I hated that.
Well, we could probably tell each other with like just one line. You know what I mean?
No, I think we both know exactly. We know exactly what's going on.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, I don't really have anything that's just like because you did something or anything like that. Like
we have never fought.
Not really. Yeah.
And I've gotten annoyed with you so much because you just don't shut up sometimes. You just don't stop talking, and I'm the type of person that I'm very social.
Right.
For like, but I have a limit.
Right.
And when that limit hits, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to lay in bed.
See, that's my problem. Is I like to talk.
And you just won't shut up. I just hit a snap rocket. That was good. But no, I mean, that's literally nothing. I can deal with that.
I didn't talk in the car today. We just listened to music.
Yeah, we were jamming out. My playlist was on fire. Normally I have to skip some songs because I keep forgetting to take them out.
Dude, I need to clean out. I need to make new playlists.
Yeah.
Like there are several that I need to just either clean out or just restart. Because there's one that I have. It's called I don't even know, literally, and just so many. Like I don't know. I don't know what I was.
There's
going
songs that I
last
haven't
year.
listened to like in so long, and I thought were cool when I made the playlist, and now I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean? It was really bad. Yeah.
But I mean, all the bangers.
Certain artists, especially that I've discovered that I just do not enjoy.
I just don't like
at
anymore.
all remotely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What is your least favorite quality about yourself, and would you change it?
Man, my insane humility. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I think my least favorite.
Book, huh?
Yeah, I wrote the book, Humbleness and How I Attained It. No, I think.
That is wild.
Yeah,
dude, is making me sweat.
Literally, okay, look at this mug, bro. It is like you were staining that mug.
It is stained.
Dear God. Okay.
It's bad.
I would say my least favorite is like. I'm just like I feel like I'm fairly impatient sometimes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people will say like, you're fairly like you can handle a lot or whatever, and I mean it's true. Like to a degree, I can take a lot. I've just had to, but I feel like I'm impatient a lot of times, which is something that I don't enjoy. That's which weird. Is also something that I don't. I've heard don't pray for patience, which I think is a fairly good point, because God will give you something to give you patience, is essentially what they're saying. And so I get that too, but I'm not even necessarily asking for patience in situations. Sometimes it's patience with, holy, what the heck
What's going on?
What is that? Yo, it's in the middle of this.
I don't know.
You flick that hoe. Get the thing out of here.
Frick?
I don't know what that was.
That came out of nowhere.
It just like flew up out of the. I don't even know.
It's on camera too. It's just this bug that just like.
Oh, that's not,
dropped out.
Was the bug.
Oh, never mind. Did it get in?
No,
there?
this is the. I don't know if
that's It was right here, so it should be.
That thing was gross. Okay.
This thing is just a giant ant with wings. What?
I don't know what just happened. Because we don't see bugs in here all the time.
No. Yeah. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think patience is definitely. Because I'm not even asking for patience within, like, situations. I'm asking for patience with people. You know what I mean? Because I feel like then sometimes my filter is gone.
Yeah.
And it's just like if somebody does something that's, like, really stupid, and I'm just like, I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's kind of my thing. Patience, and I would like to change it. I think sometimes I do like to talk a lot. And I like to, and I notice it, but I notice myself like carrying conversations more than I probably should, and that's something I'd like to change too. Is like, I feel like then I just end up being the one talking. But then sometimes, I mean, especially in like interactions that I've had at school, like sometimes it's like I feel like I have to, because then
I'm like conditioned for it, and I don't care.
Right.
But people at ACU, they probably think it's a big turnoff.
Right.
They are not used to like that sort of social interaction.
Right.
And
well, I mean, but I also just it's not even like I'm trying to just take the conversation over a lot of times.
No.
It's like I'm trying to just talk. And then some people, it's really weird. Like, it's like they don't want to. But there's this weird in-between of, like, you either find somebody who, it's like they like you, but they kind of, they just don't want to talk as much. Or they don't like you, and then you talking that much is kind of annoying. Or they like to talk a lot.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, even I'm kind of like, yo, I need to step away. Like, I need to go do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you feel caught in the conversation.
I think everybody's guilty of that. Like, I'll do it sometimes when I'm feeling more social.
Right.
And that's, 80% of the time. I would
Yeah.
say that's probably a solid, realistic number, actually. 80%, I'm, like, very social. But then when I'm expended, like,
yeah,
I just want to pee in a ball. And, like, the best thing for me when I get to those points is go to the gym.
Yeah.
Because then I get all the lactic acid, I get all the plaque out.
Yeah.
And I kind of just reset.
Yeah.
And then I can talk to whoever.
Right.
For whatever amount of time.
Yeah.
You know? But, okay, go ahead.
What?
It's your turn.
Question?
Yes.
Let's see. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Chernobyl. I'm just kidding. That's a crazy show.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Shout out to Chernobyl. You should check that out.
Oh my god.
If you have $20 to spend or whatever.
Oh man. People are just dumb.
That was a crazy.
People are so dumb.
I don't even understand.
You know, Alex always gives me crap for wanting to go to Montana.
That's such a cool place.
It is gorgeous, dude. But I said that I wanted it to be like on my honeymoon, and maybe that's probably a little crazy, but because like Bora Bora or like someplace by like really nice water, that's probably a better like place for a honeymoon.
But I've heard of people that their ideal place for a honeymoon is like somewhere in Europe, like just a tour of Europe, which I think it's like, I get it. Like I think going to Paris would be really cool or something like that. But I've also always associated a honeymoon with just like doing literally like nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like essentially you're literally just at the beach.
Right, you're just relaxing. Yeah.
And you'll do stuff. Yeah. Or you're on a cruise. Or you know what I mean? Yeah. But you can just literally you do what you want when you want to do it.
The saddest stuff is when people, like, you hear those stories about, like, couples that die on their honeymoon. Did you hear the one? Okay, so this couple went scuba diving. Uh-huh. They were at some really nice beach vacation. They went scuba diving. Or no, it wasn't a honeymoon. No, it was not a honeymoon. But it was, like, this guy had planned it to be a trip where they both go, and he's gonna pop the question on this trip. So he has a really cool idea of doing it.
Yeah.
So they're both scuba diving, or he's gonna go scuba diving, and she's in like this, like, restaurant underwater or something. She's somewhere underwater where you can see like the fish swimming around. So he's in there, and he's gonna propose to her on like some piece of paper and put it up to the glass, and it's gonna ask the question.
Yeah.
So he ends up. Something like goes wrong or something, or he doesn't have an oxygen mask, so he goes down there like just free dive and ends up drowning while asking the question. And he dies.
Holy cow. So
imagine being that girl.
That's ridiculous. Well,
your
how
dude,
deep did he go?
I don't know. It was probably like 20 feet.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
And that's still deep. You ever get in like a 10-foot pool at the bottom and your ears pop?
Yes. I've literally gone with Josh, the dude, the co-host.
Yeah.
I've gone with Josh. We went to Hawaii, and dude, I mean, they put us in these things that were like, it's like this weird underwater scooter thing. And then it had this big, like, bubble, right, around you. And you essentially just got into the bubble. It had oxygen pumped into it.
Yeah.
And they drop you down 12 feet. And it feels ridiculous. There's another, like, 12, 13 feet below you. Mm-hmm. But it feels like you could touch the ground with your foot.
Yeah.
And then you take your foot off of one of the little pedals and kind of, like, reach down for the ground. You're nowhere close. Yeah. You're not even near it. It's insane.
Scary. But those are, like, the saddest things.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, but I'd probably be like, you know, there's so many places I want to travel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of there's not just like one, because I can't say one without saying the other, because there's not one that just like stands out.
Right.
Because I want to do a bunch of them. But you know what I actually want to do?
What?
And it interests me probably more than it would you. But I'd want to go to, like, all of, like, the famously haunted hotels in Texas.
Right.
Or, like, any other...
There's one... I think there's one in Abilene, actually.
There's one in Abilene, I think, yeah. There's two in San Antonio.
Really?
There's Hotel Emma
I
and
think I've heard
the
of that.
Menger.
Okay.
Menger Hotel. Those are, like, the two biggest ones. But...
That'd
Anyway,
be
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it would just be cool. We'd just drive around Texas and go to these places because Texas is so big.
Texas is
and it has like all these abandoned hospitals. And you know, it's weird. There was a bunch of mental institutions,
right,
that used to be places where they treated mass people with TB.
Yeah,
which is tuberculosis, and then all of a sudden they turned into like mental institutions. And then in the 80s they passed some law where you couldn't treat it the way they were treating it. So
right,
they basically had to shut down.
Like,
they were using
electric treatments
and like
stuff.
lobotomies and all that crazy stuff. And they were using it for stuff that wasn't, necessarily the reasons that you should be doing that kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
So they outlawed all that, and literally overnight, hundreds of mental institutions shut their doors. And the state doesn't have any use for them anymore.
Yeah.
Private companies don't want it because it's not a good look. And so they're just there. And so there's just hundreds of these just abandoned hospitals that treated TB patients and mental patients. And nobody knows what to do with them. Nobody wants to pay to demo them.
Right.
And so they're just out there. And so it obviously has like an allure to people that are interested in that kind of stuff because of the dark past. But anyway, so I probably wouldn't want to go out there because there's some sketchy, people that would want to go out there and stay there. It's a hive for homeless people too.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many videos on YouTube, if you look it up, of people that are exploring these abandoned places, and they will like, obviously they'll hear something, right? And they'll be like, "Oh my God, what was that? Joe, chills, bro. Did you hear that?" And then, they're trying to reel you in with that crap, and then it turns out it's not even a ghost. It is a real person. And it's like a predator, and it's like somebody that wants to kidnap you and kill you, And they're hiding out there waiting for you to come and do these videos, but it's actually a person.
Yeah.
And, then you see them actually standing there with like, a knife or like a steel pipe, and they think it's still like, a paranormal phenomenon.
Yeah.
And not, an actual physical risk to your to your well-being.
Run, honey, run.
Just run, or at least go and pack, at least, so you can defend yourself.
Going by yourself is just stupid.
Oh my God. And you know what? Most of these people are by themselves when they're doing this stuff, and it's nuts.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I probably wouldn't do that, but I think going to a hotel would be pretty cool. And it's a nice way to get away. It's not, obviously you can't do it now because staying in those places are not cheap.
Yeah.
I just remember there are two things that we have to talk about before we end it.
Okay.
But we'll get to it after the questions. So now I got to remember the other one of mine. Okay. What's the scariest you've ever been in your life?
I think up there was when I went skydiving. And I think the worst part was definitely
the second jump, right?
The second jump when we had to pull the reserve chute. But there was like this feeling of like fear, but also like not really knowing what the heck was going on, and so not fear. I feel like I was more scared when I jumped, like just before I was gonna jump.
Yeah.
It's friggin' scary.
Yeah.
Literally the first time going up, I was sitting there like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. We're done. We're quitting. We're done. Like I was thinking, I was literally about to back out.
Wow.
And then the guy gets me to the door, and they don't give you. I was literally about to like be like, hey, maybe I. And then he just like goes, all right, 3, 2, and they just like take off. They don't. They don't actually.
They don't let you look.
They'll say, I'm gonna give you a countdown.
Yeah.
And like it's often not a real countdown. It's like kind of like a woo, like 3, and you're gone. It's insane. It's one of the craziest feelings.
Because if they let you, that's a good way to
They'll
do it.
You'll overthink it.
You will overthink it 100%.
But these guys are trained professionals. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so that's what's crazy about it is they're just like.
They have hundreds of hours of flight time.
Yes.
So.
Like there was one guy that was talking about it, and he was saying that there were a few of them that they've done over 10,000 jumps.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a dude at ACU that's done like 20,000 jumps. He's a professor.
Wow.
He literally was a part of like one of the world records for the most people to jump and then link.
Oh yeah.
Dude's insane.
Yeah.
He's jumped with like an oxygen mask on, I'm pretty sure.
Whoa,
like
so he goes high up.
like Mission Impossible when they have to go with the masks. Yeah, like that.
Oh wow.
It's insane.
That's
Dude just
nuts.
like, and then he just I don't even know. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That
dude.
stuff's insane.
I want to do that.
They're going from like 30,000 feet.
Yeah.
They're going from straight up like a commercial airliner. Just.
Okay, I know that we talked about this the other day, but if you, like right now, gun to your head, if you had to get a tattoo, where would it be and what would it be?
Man. I mean, I have a really personal one, but that's probably what it'd be. It'd be right here over my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy because mine would probably be in the same place,
what I'm
and
saying.
it'd be basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's right. That's my idea. I wouldn't do. I would refuse to do anything unless, I guess if I had a gun to my head, I'd have to if they wanted me to. But I don't want to do anything that doesn't have meaning. I think that the people that are they just got a frog, and you're like, why'd you get that frog?
Yeah,
because
I like frogs.
I just like
I
frogs.
like frogs
They're
today.
really pretty. It's like. And then, 2 months later, they want it removed because it was so ugly, which is ridiculous to get those things removed.
Oh, yeah. It hurts.
And they don't even really get removed. Because you have so much of it's the scarring at that point, which is just ridiculous.
It is.
It's insane.
Yeah. Okay. I would probably do the exact same thing.
What?
I'd probably do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I do like the ones that are on the inside of your forearm. Those look cool, and it wouldn't be that small. It'd be just kind of right here.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool, but
yeah,
it would need to be in a place that if I wore a short sleeve to work, it wouldn't show up. So I guess, or you know what, inside of your bicep, that'd be dope too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be sick.
I think it's also crazy because I think tattoos are one of those things for the younger generations. Nobody really cares.
Yeah.
But when you get into these older generations, for some reason, there's an insane stigma behind them.
Yeah,
which I get. I guess I get to a degree, but at the same time, it's you're not gonna hire somebody because they have a tattoo on their left butt cheek or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I get it if you have gang tattoos. Sleeves or whatever.
Are just so ugly though, dude. I don't like sleeves.
Some people can rock
get behind sleeves.
Some people,
yeah, but then I just can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it myself.
But if you're trying to apply for an executive chair on the board of whatever,
right.
you got
it just doesn't look good.
You got teardrops and MS-13 tattooed on your.
Or you've got a Charles Manson style thing going on in the middle of your forehead.
Can't have a swastika
in between
on your
your
forehead.
you can't be doing that. That's not a good idea.
Or KKK on your cheeks. Hey, maybe not apply for.
First of all, A, who?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
B, why?
Yeah.
What gang were you in?
Yeah, the KKK. The KKK.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It was. It stood for something different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the.
Oh man, good stuff. Okay, if you're listening this far in, go become a patron on Patreon.com. We need help funding the show, so go do it. There's 3 tiers on there. Very affordable, very cheap. You get bonus content. It's great. Go follow the Throne Room on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with our polls that we put on our story a lot. We got great questions on there. It's a place where you can drop your topic suggestions, and we got 2 today.
2
that we got to get to, and we will get to the topic suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Also, go subscribe and like all the videos on YouTube. So, shout out. What's going on over there?
Well, you said 2, so I was.
Oh, 2. Count them 2.
Count them 2.
And if you have a small business around San Antonio or around Texas, especially College Station, and you're just starting out, we'd love to sponsor the show. We'd love to sponsor the show. We'd love for you to be a sponsor of the show. Helping each other out. Small business to small business.
Yeah.
B2B. As you would call it, B2B, not B2C.
Or
B2B.
SeatGeek. SeatGeek would be a great sponsor.
Yeah.
You familiar with SeatGeek?
SeatGeek. Black Rifle
SeatGeek,
Coffee.
please show up.
Black Rifle Coffee is another one.
Dear Lord. What's the other one?
MVMT watches.
Honey.
Yeah, honey. Quip.
Quip.
Honey, Quip, and MVMT.
A&M themselves
Dude, you know what? I'm telling you. I tagged Texas A&M Engineering on one of the posts. They were the first ones. They were the first ones to like it.
Come on, A&M Engineering. We need that.
Zachary, Department of Engineering.
Please.
I'm your boy.
Pull up.
I'm your boy.
ACU Department of...
Oh, they will not like this. Okay. Let's see. We have 2 topic suggestions. We got the coronavirus, and then we got interstellar space travel.
Okay.
Which one do you want to go with first?
Let's do interstellar space travel first.
Okay.
Did I say that right? Interstellar? Or did I say
interstellar? No.
I felt like I said interstellar.
Instagram.
Felt really dumb.
Stellar.
Instagram stellar.
Interstellar space travel. It's a heavy one. It's one that's, if I were to guess, we're not going to see it in our lifetime. But
hey,
that might be a little weird. Maybe not. I don't know.
What do you mean? What are you saying? I'm confused.
I'm saying that I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime.
Right. Interstellar meaning like we could go to the moon, kind of thing, or like...
No. Like, interstellar space travel is in you go to the next solar system.
And like...
You go to the next star.
So like I can pull up as like a normal person.
Because right now...
Like as a normal everyday person kind of thing, or just
as a race.
Oh, just as a race. Okay.
Because right now we can barely get to Mars.
Yeah.
We can't even get to Mars.
We had trouble getting to the moon.
We had trouble getting to the moon in the 60s. Do you think we went to the moon?
I think so.
What's your ratio of belief versus disbelief?
I think I've said this before actually on the podcast, and I might have said something different, but I feel like I've said, like, I think it happened, honestly. Like, there's not really much evidence to point that it didn't happen. But if it didn't happen, I'd be like, meh. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't like start freaking out and like question my life. Mm-hmm. But like, I'd just kind of be like, I mean, the government lied. You know what I mean? Like,
big surprise!
Whoa.
First time they've done
that's crazy. Right? That hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I think I'm probably 65-35 belief versus disbelief.
I feel like I'm more than that.
Maybe 70-30.
Yeah, that would make. I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't really. It's also one of those things where it doesn't really affect me necessarily.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it really affects many people, unless you're like Neil Armstrong or something. But you know what I mean?
He punched a dude in the face for that, so I think I'd believe him. That thing that Taylor said though about the Titanic.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yo,
I had never thought about that.
That is a conspiracy theory that I definitely am going to look into.
That's crazy.
Look up the conspiracy theory. I'm talking to the audience now.
Okay.
The conspiracy theory about the Titanic that's in the ocean isn't actually the Titanic, and it was a ship. They
essentially like switched them out.
Yeah. And
they like filled this like ship that looked exactly like the Titanic. And it was it was much more beat up.
Yeah.
And so they were going to send it, and they were going to collect the insurance money.
Right.
So essentially the conspiracy theory is they killed all these people just to get insurance money. And the owner of the Titanic, supposedly was supposed to go and then claimed that he was sick, so he wasn't going to go.
There was that.
They found him later just like walking around the streets.
There was that, and then there was like the lettering on the ship on like the bottom of the ocean was different than the pictures they took of the actual
there's
ship.
Like an R, which was the name of the other one.
Was the name of the sister ship, the Carpathia or Carpathia. I don't know which
something
one.
Like that.
It was the Carpathia, but it was the ships looked identical, like they were built at the exact same time, in the exact same place, the exact same way.
It's insane.
Yeah, and
Have you seen like one of those images that's comparing like the Titanic to like a modern day cruise liner?
Dude, the
Titanic's
so,
like this big.
Yeah, it was so small compared to what we got now.
Yeah.
And it was the hugest ship at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and you know what's crazy? I think after the Titanic sunk, the Carpathia became like a war rescue ship. Like
really?
It would go out and rescue ships. But if this is true, then it's actually the Titanic. The Titanic is actually the one.
That's insane.
But the Carpathia ended up sinking as well. But like
that would make
way
sense.
later.
Like do you think it was like a part of the whole like World War One like passenger ships getting shot down thing?
No, it was after World War One.
Okay.
It was way after World War One because it was rescuing ships. So there wasn't really a legitimate navy that we used in World War One. So it would have been after that.
Right, because the Titanic sunk in 1912.
Yeah.
And so the First World War didn't start until, was it 14? Because it ended in...
It was around there. 19... I don't know. It was close. I mean,
because the U.S. didn't join until 17.
Yeah, it was close to 1912, the beginning of the actual event.
What event? What are you talking about?
World War One.
Right.
Yeah, the actual beginning.
Well, because I remember there's I've watched Downton Abbey. So, anyways, I've watched Downton Abbey before. And there's the beginning of the show is literally them talking about the Titanic sinking, and then like a little bit later, the First World War.
Yeah.
Like a couple seasons in, I feel like it's announced that they're about to go to war.
All that to say, go check it out. I want to hear your thoughts about the Titanic conspiracies because I'm interested, and that would be pretty wild if we figured that out. So interstellar space travel is kind of one of those, like, I don't want to say hypotheticals, but effectively it is a hypothetical occurrence. 1914, so very shortly after that. Yeah, so it's one of those almost hypothetical things, you know what I mean? Like, before we had proof that black holes existed, black holes were all theoretical.
Right.
I mean, the math backed it up, obviously relativity backed it up.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know 100%. So
well,
interstellar space travel, you can draw it up on the board and it makes sense, but we just don't have that technology.
Right. I think that was the concept of like atoms too. Like just in and of themselves. It was like
there's so much.
I mean, there could be right. You know what I mean? There could be a molecule that's that small, but we haven't found it yet.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last time I was here. We effectively know nothing compared to what we don't know that we don't know.
Right.
Dark matter makes up more matter in the universe than actual matter. You know, it's not an atom, but a cell is like 90% just empty space. You know, and so that's dark matter. You know, on a micro level, that's dark matter because it's something's there, but we don't really know what it is. It's just empty. You know, so what is that? Space is made up of 99.9 repeating, just dark matter. So there's theoretical dark matter in the sense that, okay, we know that interstellar space is going to most likely consist of gravity manipulation. Because there's no real known fuels on Earth that could carry us to another system and back without hurting a human and without, having basically right now with the fuels we have, we'd have to, birth a child on the spaceship in incubation somehow, have him raised, have him grow up on this ship, not know human life, not know regular oxygen.
Yeah.
And then learn everything, and then by the time he's in his 50s, he might reach the next solar system, and then he won't ever live to see the Earth on the way back. So it's gonna have to take some gravity.
We would have to figure out a way to
gravity. There's no way we
can
go that fast with the fuels we have and in a timely manner. Or honestly,
the materials either. I mean, really honestly, could you really get a ship to go as fast as you want it to and not just fall apart?
Well, in space, there's no air resistance, so
which is true.
Yeah, you really wouldn't have.
That's
a lot of external forces on the craft.
So it's just finding a way to almost have you seen The Martian?
Mm.
You haven't. Well, there's a point where they're talking about using the gravitational pull of the Earth.
That was Interstellar.
To whip themselves back around.
They did the same concept in Interstellar. They were whipping around a black hole though.
Yeah.
But have you seen Interstellar?
No, I've seen parts of it.
It's such a good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's no doubt probably one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
No joke, because it's great acting. it has those nerdy elements. It's kind of all theoretical.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, he's great. Shout out to Miller Lite, his
you
son.
know what was
or his nephew.
His nephew.
Oh.
Have you seen the Dark Tower or whatever, where he was like the villain in it?
Lord of the Rings?
No.
Oh, that's the Two Towers.
Two Towers. It's like the Dark Tower. It was something like that. But he's the villain. It's just so funny because it's like all this like crazy like magic and stuff that's going on in the movie, and he's just like, I don't see him as that kind of actor. You know what I mean? Like, is this like crazy like CGI hypothetical? Yeah, I don't.
He's a great actor, though. Him and Leo, and Tom Hardy, and they're great. They're great.
Such a good actor.
But it's so I think it's gonna have to consist of gravity manipulation because there's no real fuels that I know of that can get us to where we want to go and back in one piece in one lifetime.
Let's just talk to the people at Chernobyl and see if they've got any ideas.
Oh, they don't know what's going on. But so it's like. Can we figure out the singularity
right
of can we be able to start manipulating gravity? That's why I wanted you to watch that Bob Lazar documentary, because that's a weird one, man. Again, I'm not 100% on aliens yet. I don't know.
Neither am I.
I don't know. I'm not 100%.
Honest, but that would be, there's also a point that's like, why wouldn't they have used that by now? You know what I'm saying?
We don't know how to use it.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
we don't know how to use it. Like we apparently Bob Lazar was working on reverse engineering this craft that they found.
Yeah.
That appeared to use gravity manipulation. And then there was that video back in 2017 of a U.S. military pilot.
Yeah.
There was a couple pilots flying around in our airspace over Area 51, I think, and they caught on I don't know what the military term is, but it's a heat sensor.
Right.
It's heat optics basically.
Right.
So everything kind of looks white. You know what I mean? It's one of those, and they
thermal?
see this. It's not exactly thermal because
it's
it's white and thermal's more like red and like yellow.
Right.
But anyway, but it's this pill and you could look it up because the New York Times broke this story and they show the video and it's this tic-tac looking thing that they see, and it goes from like 30,000 feet to like 12 feet above the water in like half a second, and then it zooms like probably half a mile just horizontally in the split of a second, and then back up, and then it just disappears.
That's crazy.
And when you obviously basic physics, if you have something flying and moving that fast, you have to have something exerted outward.
Right.
There has to be a heat signature. There was no heat signature. There was no propulsion from this thing, so it had to be using gravity.
Moving.
It had to be manipulating gravity somehow to be moving that quickly.
That's weird.
And there's video of this, and I've seen the video, and it's on the New York Times, and there's documents out that are saying because I think back in the 80s when the whole Bob Lazar thing was going on, our government said that we weren't looking into UFOs
right.
at Area 51. It was strictly for the advancement of our aircraft or whatever.
Yeah.
2012, these documents came out that saying, hey, just kidding, we've allotted this much money, which isn't we've spent a lot more money on it, but it's just their propaganda number, right? Of how much money we're spending from the Chernobyl thing, how much money we're spending on it. And so we did look into it, and which, backs up Bob Lazar, obviously. So they were supposed to be reverse engineering this gravity manipulation craft that they recovered. And so that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. But I've also said this. It's like if they were to exist, or we don't know who they could be just a soulless machine. Like that tic-tac thing, that could be the alien.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't actually have to be like a humanoid creature with like a soul. But if it did have a soul, Jesus would have to go to those systems, those realities,
Trippy.
That's what I'm saying. But like I said, it could be just a soulless animal that doesn't really have a soul. It's intelligent, obviously,
but somehow can
somehow figured out how to do it. I don't know all the answers, but but I know that video's legit.
Yeah.
Because it's from a U.S. pilot, you know?
Yeah, just a second.
Okay. Yeah, go get that water. But I don't know. So it would definitely have to be gravity manipulation. Can we figure that out in our lifetime? I mean, we're 20 now, so call it average life expectancy is what, like 77? So in the next 50 years, do you think we'll be able to figure that out? I mean, I think it's such a huge bite that we have to chew. And I don't know. And would that even, I mean, would gravity manipulation change physics the way we know it? Like, I don't know. Because that's a huge thing, you know? I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I think you would, if they were able to, like, reverse engineer it, I think that, I mean, you know, that depends on, like, how long that would take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they're close to figuring it out, I mean, it could be done, and interstellar travel could happen a lot sooner than we think.
A lot sooner, yeah. It'd be a cool thing.
Let's just figure out how to teleport, and then we'll move from there.
Well, that's effectively what they'd be doing. If you can manipulate gravity, you can just... I mean, yeah, literally. Time and space would be...
Yeah.
It would be
crazy.
nothing.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other thing that's important to notice is if we can manipulate gravity and go into different systems, star systems, we would effectively be time travelers.
Right.
Because, you know, space, time, and gravity all exist in the same set of equations, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, if it takes... Because that's why they call the distance a light year. Because it's in relation to time. That's sort of the, independent variable in all this. You can't change it, and you can't manipulate it. You know, that's one thing that no one has the power to manipulate. But we can manipulate gravity, and that's the closest thing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So we would effectively be time travelers if we could just manipulate gravity, you know?
That would be weird.
It's insane, man. So, I don't know. So that's interstellar space. Shout out to Duncan Clayton for suggesting that.
My boy.
Yeah. Smart kid. I want to have him on the show. Now getting to the coronavirus. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, people crazy. Just
wash your hands. And maybe, maybe don't travel if you're sick. But see, that's the hard thing, though. I will say, not even trying to play devil's advocate, it is a hard thing to do because you can be asymptomatic for up to 2 weeks and still have it. So you might not even be,
right,
in the
But
know.
at the same time, like, the people that it's killing typically are not, like, just people with good immune systems. Mm. I think it's worth being careful with.
100%.
Hands down.
If you're being stupid,
but that's anything. But that's anything. That's the flu.
Assuming.
That's the swine flu back when that was going on. That's Ebola. That's, I mean, literally any of these crazy, like, trendy, for the lack of a better term, but these trendy viruses that start coming out. I mean, any of them. I mean, the common cold, pneumonia, all these things that you can catch. Be careful. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Always wash your hands. Why? Who's out here not washing their hands?
Yeah.
If you're out here not washing your hands, please don't watch this podcast anymore. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Wash your dang hands. It's not that hard. It's really not.
Yeah, don't touch your face.
Takes you an extra few minutes or seconds. Not even minutes.
Worth it.
Takes you. You can literally do it. I think it's like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
20 seconds. You wash your hands, and even then, you don't have to do the full 20 seconds. Wash your dang hands. Just get some soap on them, please.
So I brought it up to you earlier because we were talking about it. We sort of, like, if you really think about it, the internet, we are, like, our formative years have lined up perfectly with the, I guess, the timeline of the internet. So, like, when we were kind of becoming pubescent teenagers, the internet was in its infancy. The internet was in its infancy, and we have had it in our hands ever since, and it has been growing exponentially, and so we're kind of very aware of how powerful it actually is, especially when everyone is connected through social media.
Yeah.
And everyone that has stupid opinions, smart opinions, there are 38% of people that think that if you drink a Corona, that's how you get the coronavirus. 38%.
It's not? No.
And it's not globally. It's not people that don't have educations.
Right.
It's not people that have never read a book. It's people in the United States.
Well, I think that that's the problem with what's been going on, is the media has been creating this mass hysteria that I was talking about earlier. I don't think, like, when we were talking about, like, for example, the swine flu, it took out an entire class of mine. Not take them out, like, but they were out of school for a couple days.
Yeah.
And so we were down to, like, I think in my class I had 20 people. There was, like, I think 3rd or 4th grade. And we had, like, 20 people. And it took almost all of them. Mm-hmm. I think we had 5 people in class one day.
Yeah.
We still went to school.
Yeah.
They didn't shut the school down, which I think was crazy. But they didn't shut the school down, which is insane. I think, honestly, like you said, social media didn't really start to take off. I mean, the forming of, Facebook was 2007, I think. And so when
it was nothing.
It was nothing then. Facebook started to take off around 2010. Yeah. And so then around that time it started to boom, right? And then 2012, 2013 was the biggest time for us in middle school, right? And so I remember that's when I like to refer to the relatable memes stage, which is literally every single meme you ever looked at was when you're when you're riding on your bike and you fall off, and some weird picture with it. Yeah, that was the beginning. Yeah. And then our freshman year around 2014, it started to kind of take off, and then our sophomore junior year is when it really started with the
memes blew up.
You've got these crazy and then you've got these really edgy, and then you've got these really just slapstick, and then so it started to take on the, humor. Then as that started to go on, and then as the Trump administration has come through, and there's been the whole craziness of both sides twisting the media, you start to watch both sides of the coronavirus conversation twisting it.
That's my biggest point. Like, so each stage, like as you're going through these, it's like during, Obama stuff, because obviously. Like mainstream media back in the day was just radio or CNN or Fox News, just television, and it wasn't even like looking back through the Obama years, we've never seen like the little fake little jabs, like just mudslinging as you would call it. You know what? And it's like they never really did that. We haven't
seen that in so long.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that since like Lincoln.
I mean, it's not in our lifetime, and so like ever since Trump got elected, back in 2016, then everything shifted to like, okay, we're gonna weaponize social media. We're gonna weaponize to indoctrinate the masses. And that's not a conspiracy. I mean, you go look on Twitter and figure out how much stuff is actual crap and actual reality.
Right.
And I would say 60% is probably baloney. And, it's all politically, weaponized. And so that machine is still going.
Yeah.
It's churning, and it's been attacking the administration now.
Yeah.
And it's going to attack the next one, and then it's going to attack the next one. And that machine has just geared from, hey, we're not talking about Trump anymore. We're going to talk about this one thing. Oh, and then let's tie it to Trump because he's not doing enough or whatever, which that's not the biggest problem I see. The biggest problem I see is we are literally watching an example
and people are so brainwashed.
Of just the media just taking this one thing and turning it into mass hysteria.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying is people will believe almost anything that you put on the internet, which is insane. I mean, literally you look at the amount of Facebook things that people have read to me, and you're just like, where's the credibility? And you look at the source that they get, and it's some random .com that has, it's just like, it's some stupid, like...
It's an editorial.
Jump off a cliff, you crazy conservatives.com. And it's like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit biased. You might need to look into something like, I don't know, the friggin' World Health Organization or the CDC or, you know what I mean, or any sort of government depending on the government, obviously, some of the Washington Post is typically a generally decent, it informs you at least of situations, whether it's biased or not, I don't really know, I don't really read it enough, but essentially what I'm trying to say is, find something that at least has some sort of validity. Find a .org, find a .net, find a .gov, not .net, .gov, .org, and .edu are all typically fairly reliable sources. Yeah. And so if you go, and like I said, you go to the CDC, typically they don't really have a reason to be biased, honestly, because they're just relaying information about the disease. So, really honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, the coronavirus, can it be scary to a degree? Yes. Should you be careful? Yes. Wash your hands. But I don't think it's anything. The flu has killed way more, and I get it. The flu has been more prevalent for a while. But as like Mom had said earlier, I think that there's a point where it's like, it's definitely existed before this point. Oh, yeah. This isn't like brand new. It's existed. They just have to figure out a way to. But that's also the thing about viruses. You can't whip up an antibiotic for it. Yeah, they're hard. Mm. So you have to just kill it by.
It's coded.
Not giving it anything to. Not giving it. Well, and it's not. It's technically not a living organism. That's the problem with viruses. Yeah. Bacteria are living organisms. You can find a way to kill them typically, but viruses, you have to find a way to essentially give them nothing to go after anymore. Essentially. Yeah. So it's a very. It's a rough topic because people get very, very passionate about whether we should be as frantic as some people are. Some people are treating it like we're going to die tomorrow, the whole race. Yeah. It's like, let's calm down. Let's figure some things out. I think we have plenty of geniuses that can figure out how to handle it.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm the most nervous because, again, at what point do we take... I don't want to call it a small issue, but at what point do we take a very, at what point do we take an issue that is so, easily, capable of being taken care of?
Right.
Like an issue that's not, Armageddon level threat and just turn it into Armageddon level threat. At what point do we stop doing that? And, how do you regulate mass hysteria? Right. Because people are dumb, but a person is smart. You know what I mean? Yeah. Riot culture, people going out on college campuses, the freaking gun girl came to Ohio State, and people are throwing drinks at her, and, all because what? All because what? She supports the Second Amendment and maybe has said some crazy things? Okay, she says some crazy things. Okay, your racist uncle at Thanksgiving says crazy things. What, are you going to throw a coffee at him?
That doesn't give you the right to just start beating people. You have the right to say things. You don't have the right to just start swinging.
Oh, my God,
no.
You
have no right to start swinging.
No, just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that you get to be violent towards them.
So I think a big thing is...
So how do you regulate that?
I think people need to stop getting so offended. I think one of the big... but I think that's also another media problem. I think that's another media problem. I think we've gotten so used to, and there have been studies on how much being on your phone makes you think about just you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's no longer about other people. It's about me staring at this phone, flipping it open and looking at Instagram every other minute. Yeah. Because it's all about me. It's all about what people see. So I think that, that's what creates some of this, well, you shouldn't offend me. And it's wait a minute. First of all, somebody coming to you and saying, hey, I don't think we should be freaking out about the coronavirus as much. Let's calm down and let's just not, do the smart things. Maybe if it's really bad in a certain area, avoid that area. Yeah. Wash your hands. Yeah. Drink things that, get a lot of vitamin C, get a lot of vitamin D. I get those mixed up. Get a lot of good. Get a lot of good
for immune system.
Good things that are just you know what I mean. Drink things. Drink a lot of fluids. Eat well. Do things like that, so that you're naturally just building up your immune system so that you can fight it. Yeah. That's not something that simple. If I present that to you, that shouldn't offend you.
No.
But some people take that as I'm attacking them directly because they see it as a bigger issue. It's no.
Or even more realistic, some people take that if you were to say that to me, some people take that as, oh, you're a Trump supporter, right? Because you're saying that the coronavirus isn't a big deal.
Right. And it's like, I don't even think that's what Trump said. You know what I mean? That's not even what I'm going to... No. That's not even what I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying let's not make it so crazy that then you've got people running around buying as much toilet paper as they can. Like, what the heck is going on with that? Or we have another gas crisis in San Antonio.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you remember? I'm saying I'm saying let's not have another one of those. What I'm saying is, everybody, let's all just work together as humans and calm down.
That was the closest thing that we got to socialist scarcity that I've seen firsthand.
Yeah.
You know? Because the biggest, I mean, obviously, if you take Economics 101, the first lesson is scarcity. And obviously we live in a capitalist country that's very rich in materials, and we have very low scarcity because everything's privatized and there's high incentives to produce these materials.
Yeah.
Basic, supply and demand curves. So when you add scarcity to the problem, typically when you don't have high incentives for producing these materials and products, scarcity becomes a huge thing.
Exactly.
And
your production goes down.
And so, but when we had that gas problem, it took you an hour and a half
to get gas
to pull into it to a filling station.
Well, because
there's just lines going into these gas tanks. So the freaking the gas tanks that are coming in to fill these pumps up, they can't even get into the place.
Yeah.
And so you ended up running out of gas.
Yeah.
And we didn't know when we were going to get refills.
Right.
We didn't know when we were going to do this. So it's like
Texas got hit by a truck right around that time.
Yeah, man.
Because you've got Hurricane Harvey came in, slapped the ever-living crap out of us, and then you've got all this issue of, like, people didn't know if they were going to get gas and all that.
It was a bad time, and that was the closest thing that we have ever seen to, like, scarcity in this country. As far as a basic human need, I'm not basic human need, but a basic citizenal need.
Yeah.
Citizenal, that's not a word.
Artisanal.
Artisanal. No, citizen.
That's not the word I was messing with you. I was just kidding. Artisan is like
just a basic need to be
French cuisine.
A productive citizen. Gas. I mean, we need
gas.
We need to be able to drive to our jobs. We need to drive to be a customer.
I think it was funny because diesel wasn't too bad. Because who uses diesel?
But again, how are you going to get your truck in there?
But here's the other thing that was stupid too. Do you remember seeing those dudes that were filling like those massive like clear things that you put like water in?
Yep.
That's just stupid.
Yep.
Like, be careful. Don't do that. If you really
and it ended up being a weekend where we didn't have gas. It was fine because the system leveled out. And
but here's what I'm going to stick to. It's because hysteria broke out. If we stay calm,
I would understand that more than this whole crap with the coronavirus.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm saying is if we stay calm, this is what I'm not trying to say, and I've said this to people. I'm not trying to say don't worry about it. Don't be cautious. But I am saying don't lose your mind. Like let's not all be running through the streets picking up toilet paper and getting as much gas
bushes
as we
for
can,
hand sanitizer.
And then digging in bushes for hand sanitizer, and then digging random bunkers or something. That's probably not happening, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to over exaggerate it.
Probably one
what
person.
What I'm saying is let's not do this whole freaking out thing. Let's all stay calm, which is honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen because it's like you said, the person is typically you can figure things out for yourself. But when people are thrown into groups and have to figure it out, no, because it's all about me, right? That's just a natural thing. But it's like if you could learn to not freak out when things happen like this, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not even. I think it really is just the media making it seem worse than it is.
I'm also not even saying that we shouldn't do like these schools that are canceling classes. I know Rice canceled school altogether. I think Harvard went to online. I think A&M was supposed to go online, but we canceled Monday and Tuesday of next week after spring break.
Well, Houston makes sense because Houston is naturally going to be a cesspool.
Houston has like 40 confirmed cases.
Houston's going to be a natural cesspool. There's just so many people there.
And it's probably more than 40.
There's so many people there.
Yeah. So
there's I've heard of reports. I don't know if you've heard this. I've heard of reports of it going down, of it getting better in certain areas.
I've seen that. The infectivity rate. Well, it's kind of weird because people are getting cured faster than they're dying, obviously, but it's still highly infectious.
Yeah.
Because again, you can be asymptomatic for weeks.
Of course it's highly infectious. Yeah. It's a virus.
It's highly infectious, but people are kind of losing it before they die. I mean, the death rate is very low compared to how many people are getting infected.
Right. Well, but
it is killing a lot of people. But again, they're not like you or me. It's people with pre-existing conditions,
either
low immune systems, or they're 80,
or they're 95, and they're pretty much knocking on heaven's door anyway.
There's obviously jarring statistics that can scare people if you're not educated or don't have the least bit of common sense, or just you buy into the hysteria. And those are the types of people that help feed into it, because then they repost it on Facebook, and it's, we need to buy all this.
My Uncle Timmy said, and it's like, I don't care what your Uncle Timmy said. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Go to the CDC. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a report as of last week, so my information is probably pretty outdated. But a report as of last week there was a point where the main guy for the World Health Organization, one of them, he had said at that point it wasn't pandemic yet.
Yeah.
Epidemic and pandemic are epidemic is typically regional, pandemic meaning worldwide. And so pandemic, I don't, it has reached pretty much everywhere in the world at this point.
Yeah.
I think the reason they're not calling it pandemic yet is because it's just not as bad as, like, the flu even. You know what I mean? So I think that they're kind of sitting at a state of, like, well, it's not that bad yet. Like, it's really not. I mean, really, the United States has hardly been touched when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Per capita, it's very low. But Houston has, I think, 40 confirmed cases, and it's probably more than that. Just because you might not even know you have it, and you're spreading it, and it's this or that, it's whatever. And so a lot of students at A&M, they're from Houston, so, we got 60,000 kids on campus that probably at least half of them are from Houston. Maybe 20,000 to 30,000 kids are going back to Houston and then coming back. Chances are you're going to come in contact with someone that may or may not know they have it. And so, it's a smart move to cancel school for Monday and Tuesday. Look at this
headline from the New York Post or the New York Times: Coronavirus live updates. IRS looks to move tax deadline as U.S. cases top 1,000. It's ridiculous.
It makes no sense to me.
So we're over 1,000 apparently.
I'm not saying you shouldn't put in measures to, at least ease the hysteria. I think at some point
there was a point I read something where there was a bill passed for like $8.3 billion for research of it to try to figure out how to stop it.
That's not a problem to me.
What else are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know.
Like, what else can you do as the president? All you can do is fund research.
Travel bans, and we already have travel bans.
And travel.
There's travel bans. But there's
not even
protocols.
At this point, it was the president of ACU had released a statement that as of right now, because there's two study abroad teams. There's one in Germany and there's one in England. And so he said, as of right now, we're not moving anybody out. Yeah. But he did say we're not letting any of our groups travel to certain regions, because even the main regions, like in China, are still at a level, as of when he sent the email, they were at a level 3, which means that they suggest to not travel there.
Yeah.
Like, they suggest, so it's not even at, like, literally don't travel. It's at a, maybe you should move your...
Probably not. Probably maybe not go there.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, man.
Which is an interesting stance to have if it's...
I think at the very least the move here is to... Because imagine what would happen if you didn't put in place some... If you didn't try to regulate it, if you didn't try to put money towards it. Like, imagine the emails that schools would get if all the parents figured out that, hey, we weren't doing anything to protect the kids, or we weren't doing anything to, act against this virus. All the emails they would get. A&M, 70,000 students, 60,000 at College Station, all of the emails from parents being like, hey, what are you doing to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The apartment company that I'm living at, they sent us an email and they were like, hey, we understand we've heard a lot of your questions and we don't have that many people living with and they got a bunch, probably everyone minus me sent something to them and they were like, hey, we understand your concern, there's nothing we can really do at this time, just stay safe, do the common health things, don't travel that far if you can, or don't travel to areas where you know it's common. So I think what the government, what schools are doing now is really just trying to calm the hysteria, and at the very least that. Now, I will say common sense says, yeah, probably shouldn't have school on campus when 60,000 people are intermingling together, that most of them have probably come in contact, statistically speaking, probably come in contact with somebody that A, has it, or B, doesn't know they have it in Houston. Yeah. So I'm with A&M on that. I don't think I don't think it's far-reaching to say, hey, maybe we should probably be a little on the safe side here.
See, but that's what I'm saying is, like, I get caution. I get that.
Oh, yeah. But safe over sorry, 100%.
But that's what I'm saying is, then I think that sometimes things like that do produce some of the hysteria.
Well, I think if you're running around, if you're a state-funded institution, or you're, whatever, and you're saying if you're running around with your acting like your head's cut off, and you're just like, oh my God, don't come to school, don't do this, sending out emails like in all caps, like, do not touch doorknobs, if you know, like it's a
YouTube title. Yeah,
the way that A&M did it was very good, and I got the emails when there was that potential case on College Station. They said, hey, we have a potential case of the coronavirus. We can't say who it is. We can't say what classes they were taking, but anyone that had taken the class, they've been notified and they've been given the proper steps to follow. This kid is being quarantined. And we'll let you know any updates. It wasn't like, oh my God, this kid has the coronavirus, stay away, drop all your classes, enroll in another school.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was very, and that's being safe. That's not buying into the hysteria. That's just taking the correct precautions. Because then I do see what you're saying, like buying into the hysteria, putting out stuff where it's like, hey, we're doing this because it's such a bad thing. That's one thing, but, taking safe precautionary measures is necessary as well, because it's not like nothing,
people to use common sense. It's what we've said essentially. Quit with and I love the memes. The memes are hysterical.
Memes are great.
Can we quit with what is this, the travel disease? Like, dear Lord.
Because you got it and you're over here going to every country. Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's time to travel.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Does it give you a random boost of energy instead of fatigue?
Yeah, I don't know.
One of the symptoms is definitely fatigue.
Or just money to travel, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, so that was requested by the same guy that, what was his name? Ty Spam. Shout out to you, boy.
Dang.
Killing it, crushing it. Love him.
Dope.
Love him.
Dopamine.
There was one more question I wanted to ask you. I forgot. In regards to our couples therapy.
Huh?
In regards to our couples therapy.
Couples therapy.
Yeah. I forgot.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's currently 2:20.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It is late.
It's early.
It's one of the two. I've lost track.
It's both of the two.
I took a nap earlier.
Me too.
But it didn't. It's it's one of those things.
Yeah, it is one of those things where you just kind of do it.
Yeah.
And poop in it.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I do often.
You poop in it?
Yeah.
I poop in it as well. I poop in it as well. I am tired.
Yeah, I feel that.
Again, go follow the Patreon. Go become I always mess that up. I always say go become a Patreon.
Yeah.
But you can't go become a Patreon because that's the company. So go become a patron. On patreon.com/thethrone-room. Again, there's 3 tiers. You can be an intern for $1 a month. It's great. Or a producer. For $5 a month. Or an executive producer. You won't be the executive producer, but you can be a executive producer. Right. You'll be on the board of directors, but you're not the board of directors,
Right.
So
I'm the board of directors.
You're not. That's your mother.
That's my mother. That's true.
So go follow the Instagram and the Twitter at the Throne Room. Give us your topic suggestions. I want to hear what you got to say about the Titanic conspiracy, because that's a weird one,
trippy,
man.
dude.
That's a weird one, and it's so easy.
Trippy.
It is so easy to be like, yeah. There's so many times in history where people do stupid stuff for money. People take lives.
The fact you'd be willing to throw thousands of lives like that out the window is just insane.
So yeah, hit us up with that stuff, and if you got anything else you want to talk about, you know what I mean? Haha. Where can they find you?
Hotchkiss73 on Instagram.
I'll tag him in the stuff. So, I love you. Thanks so much for watching.
Yep, that was it. That was it right there. Yes.